One two one two. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing out there? I'm Frank Red, and this is late night edition of the Introduction program and NBA wrap up. Um, Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Um, I don't really care how many listeners I have tonight. For those who are listening and watching, I appreciate you. But in terms of the numbers, it's really about us because only basketball fans would be watching and listening to this particular show right now. It's pretty late, but man, what a fantastic basketball game that we had tonight between the Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings. The Warriors were victorious 122 to 114. And there's a lot of interesting things to talk about and assess the future based on what we've seen thus far. All right. My name is Frank Red. And hit me up at Twitter at Big Frank Red if you're checking me out for the first time, and we'll promote the show a little bit at the end of the program. But we'll be on this Sunday night in which we'll recap all of the sports that are happening, the NFL, the NBA, college football. We'll get into it all off the rip. For those who follow the Colorado Buffaloes, they got a big game tomorrow night against the UCLA Bruins. I think that's their game to define their season. But with that said, we're talking NBA tonight. We're talking about the Golden State Warriors. And as I was watching the game, I was kind of getting excited about doing a wrap-up show. And I'm going to tell you why. Because we can talk basketball now. We don't have to talk about all of the foolishness that took place last year. You know what I'm saying? We spent a lot of time talking about things that really don't matter. This is Vicky. Hi, Frank. Beautiful basketball win every time. Both teams are very good so far. The Warriors are better. I totally agree with you. But Vicky, that's what I said though. If you listened to the show last week, which you did, and you listened to my little Krug, I said the Warriors, I think, are really going to flip what the Sacramento Kings did last year. The Kings to me look like a team that's probably 44 to 45 wins, and the Warriors look like a team that can eclipse 50. I think they can win 50 games. And you see it from the start. It's the depth. While Sacramento, I think their bench has gotten worse because I don't think the players internally have gotten better. They brought some guys in that are pretty good, but I think Mike Brown is scratching his head right now because he's not getting it from the backcourt. When you look at De'Aaron Fox, he's awesome, and Monk is going to be there because he knows how to score. But beyond those two players, where do you go? Herder, I think, is a good player, but I think Mike Brown, probably for good reasons, he's been on him. I think he's taking his confidence away. I think Herder is a little spoiled, in my opinion, just based on body language. I don't know the guy. But he's really not playing his best basketball now, and they need that guy. So it'll be interesting to see if he can shake himself or if Mike Brown and his staff can find a way to get him back on track. Because I've been watching Davion Mitchell since his days at Baylor, and he's been tinkering with his shot. He was never a good shooter at the professional level, but his shot is worse now. His body is not aligned properly. So, as good as he is on the defensive end, if he's a nothing burger on the offensive end, that's going to hurt Sacramento. It's going to put a lot of pressure on De'Aaron Fox to do everything. And that's going to be tough because the NBA is better. Now, all the people, and I know you're out there, and it's okay to step forward. All the people who thought that Chris Paul was going to wreck the Warriors, he's 38, he's too old, he can't play. What are they doing? They trading Jordan Poole for Chris Paul. Is the Warriors crazy? Do you see now his impact on the team? I never had to see 1 minute played by Chris Paul with this team to know that his impact was going to be mighty. First of all, I'll put his basketball IQ with anybody in the organization. And that includes Steve Kerr, Stephen Curry, Draymond Green. There's nobody smarter than Chris Paul. Nobody. I haven't seen Steve Kerr smile so much probably since, he hit the shot for Michael to clinch another world championship out of Bulls. That's the last time I've seen that guy smile so much. He's giddy. He got a good reason to be giddy because this is a quintessential Steve Kerr team. All vets, all guys that know how to play. They are essentially on autopilot. And oh, by the way, how many times have people mentioned Draymond Green? 0. And you know how good he is. But nobody's mentioned Draymond. You know why? Because this team is stacked. Now, they had a little, they had some nervous moments late in the game, but they still won. They won on the road. So you kiss the sky, you take your showers, you do the press conferences, and you keep it moving to take on the New Orleans Pelicans on Monday night. And I like the Warriors' chances, man. Every time they step on the court, they got a good opportunity to win because they got players out there. I love this team. On Tuesday night when they lost to Phoenix, and people were like, well, I don't know. What I looked at was the fact that they fumbled the game away and they gave up 104 points. That's it. And they scored 100. They gave up 100 and they scored 104, and they shot 24% from 3. This is a good defensive team. I don't care if they don't have a lot of big guys. Schematically, guys are in the right place. Kuminga on the floor is a difference maker. When he goes up and gets a rebound, it's amazing now because I look at Kuminga. You know what he looks like? He looks like a third-year college player from Kansas, from Duke, from UConn now, North Carolina. That's how he looks. He's not a finished product, but his basketball IQ has grown by leaps and bounds. He put the work in the gym. I love what I'm seeing from this guy. Now, I'm not going to tell you that he is an instinctive scorer. I'm not going to do that because I know that he's not. What he is a straight baller who has unbridled talent. Moses Moody, what a professional that guy is. 21 years old. He should have been playing last year. He kept his mouth shut, got in the gym, ingratiated himself with his veteran teammates, and he looks like a street baller right now. So I am so happy to watch beautiful basketball. My man Mark Graves. Mark, thank you for hanging out with me, man. I appreciate you. 2 games in, I'm excited to see Moody grow as a basketball player this year. Absolutely. And his chain gang. Loving the deeper bench and having more options. Yeah, man. They got a crazy bench. Mark Gregg says, when JK's game slows down a bit, he will take off big time. No question. No question. Because you can't stop him. I mean, he looks like he's 6'9". He got like 7-foot wingspan. And he's bouncy. He's at least 20 pounds heavier now than he was when he got drafted. You can't stop him in the post. He's going to get the ball over the rim softly every time. Every time. And I think in 2 games I've seen him make 2 bad decisions. He's taking 2 bad shots. Tonight, I believe like in the third or fourth quarter when things were unraveling a little bit, he darted to the middle of the lane with 2 guys contesting his shot, and he had Moody in the corner, right within his vision. That was the next pass, and he forced up a shot, and it didn't go in. But that's okay. You kind of expect that from young players. It's all right. He hustled his butt back down court, and he kept playing. So not only love to play basketball, I've coached basketball for a long time, for 20 years. But I love watching the maturation and the growth of players. I love that. As bad as Klay Thompson was on Tuesday night, he was excellent tonight. And I'm going to tell you why. He took the right number of shots. Klay Thompson was 7 for 12. Now, he made some tough shots, right? But he only took 12 shots. His defense was excellent, playing against guards and against forwards. That's how Klay Thompson is going to extend his career. He was rock solid defensively tonight. He really was. So, if you could bottle this performance from Klay Thompson, this is what you would like to see more times than not. Right on time, Vicky said, what do you think about Klay? Are you worried about him? No, I mean, I'm inspired by him based on what I saw tonight. Now, I want to see Klay put together another performance on Monday like he had tonight. He should not be, as I said in the past, he should not be the second leading shot taker on the team. He shouldn't be, unless he just has it going. If he has it going, then go ahead, knock him down. But I want to see him be judicious like he was tonight, really reading the defenses, taking his time, not dribbling into shots, letting the ball find him as opposed to him trying to find a shot. But I was actually most impressed by his defense. I thought his defense was excellent. I thought his alignment was great. And like I said on Tuesday night, it's not too much to ask Kevon Looney to go out and do what he did tonight. He was a force on the interior on defense. He had 12 rebounds. Missed a couple of bunnies, but that's okay. You know, he was instinctive tonight. He was energized, and he looked like the guy who helped the Warriors win all those championships. And again, you got to give Steve Kerr credit also because he went against his tendencies. Trayce Jackson-Davis played a total of 5 minutes. He was plus 7 in 5 minutes. Plus 7 in 5 minutes. And the thing about Trayce that's impressive to me, he doesn't make a lot of rookie fouls. When the offensive player comes into his zone, what does he do? He keeps his head up so he can see the movement of the offensive player, and he has his hands straight up in the air, and he's jumping vertically. That is an intelligent player. That's a guy who's going to find minutes on the floor. I love that. And he gives Kerr another 6 fouls. That was awesome. You know, I mean, this is not the type of show that I'm going to be walking around with pom-poms, you know, ready to crown the Warriors now. But I tell you what, I saw a clip online that Jay Williams. Now, for those of you who are too young to have seen Jay Williams live, this guy was phenomenal. Had he not gotten hurt by riding a motorcycle and crashing it, he would have been a phenomenal NBA player. What an imagination that he had, and he has. But not as much. I mean, he hasn't reached the same heights as a broadcaster. I'm not saying he's bad, but you know, he's much better as a player thus far. He said the Warriors are going to be in the play-in game. Are you kidding me? I'm trying to think right now of all the teams in the NBA. I can't imagine a team executing better in the fourth quarter than the Golden State Warriors. You might say Denver. Denver executes very well in the half court. Maybe Denver. You could say maybe Boston, but I don't know about that. I think when it comes to nail cutting time, that's where the Warriors are going to really excel. And I got to give the Lakers credit also. Last night, they showed me something that I hadn't seen from them in quite a while. and give Darvin Ham a lot of credit, but I give most of it to LeBron. When I was a kid, when everybody in the world loved Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics, we loved the Knicks, obviously, and Dr. J. But as I got older, I started to appreciate and admire Larry Bird more and more and more because of his greatness, because of how good he was. I think everybody needs to get on board with LeBron James at this point. Forget about what's taken place in the past, and I'm sure you can kind of pick at some of the decisions he's done if you really want to. But as a basketball player, you're talking about a savant. 21 years in the NBA? Are you kidding me? I was walking around today thinking, preparing for this show, and saying to myself, there is no team in the league that LeBron James, after 21 years, would not be at least the second best player. Maybe there's a team or two in which he would be the third best player. Maybe. But he's on the top 3 of every team in the league after 21 years. I mean, he was more impactful last night than Kevin Durant because he does more things. That's amazing. It really is. I also was watching Kevin Durant and thinking last night, we all make decisions in our lives that we would regret. And if you haven't, you're one of the few in the world who hasn't. I can tell you about a few that I've made that I regret. If you want to know, I'll tell you. Leading the Golden State Warriors has to be up there in worst decisions ever made by a basketball player for Kevin Durant. And I get it. Emotionally, maybe it felt good right away. But from a basketball perspective, he never played better basketball than he played with the Warriors. And the game was easy for him. The game was very easy for him. I know Booker didn't play last night and Bradley Beal didn't play, but the game was hard. And I think late, he was a little fatigued. As young as he looks, and as spry as he can appear to be at times, Kevin Durant's getting up there. Kevin Durant played, 13, 14 years in the NBA as a go-to guy. That's tough. It really is. That's tough. What's up, my man Glenn Docious? What's up? What's up, Frank? Moses Moody is looking better than Kuminga to me. He's looking very underrated. Well, he's not looking underrated to you or me or everybody listening to this program because we all know basketball. We know how good he is. And whenever I look at players, the first question that I have, who coached this player? Where did he go to college? It matters. Eric Musselman did a fantastic job preparing Moses Moody for the NBA. And all of his players. I got to give Musselman a lot of credit. Why? His dad was an NBA coach for all these years. He was an assistant for all these years. He was a head coach at 2 different NBA teams. That's the college you want to look at if you're a young, talented player that has aspirations about making it to the NBA, because Musselman is going to prepare you. Not only from a basketball perspective, but he's going to prepare you emotionally. And people don't talk about that enough. I was never as good as any of those guys, but I understand the process of dealing with stuff emotionally in sports and having to navigate those spaces as well. You would think that the most important thing that you have to do is learn how to play. That's important. But equally important is having the foresight to understand that this shall pass. Because you're going to deal with some BS. And when nobody is watching, I'm sure Steve Kerr will probably tell you, and we've even heard Kerr say last year, yeah, Moses Moody probably should be playing more. And he's not playing. But he didn't bitch and moan. Do you know the level of equity that you have when that doesn't happen? I'm so happy for this young man. I really am. My man Brian Iglesias. What's up, Frank? It's Steph Curry's world, and we're just living in it. The human video game? Come on. Yo, I'm going to tell you what's amazing about Steph. Most people, when they knock down a three-point shot from 26 feet from the basket in somebody's eye hole, they're giddy as hell. Steph Curry, with his mouthpiece and hanging out, will walk past you like he's looking for the empty seat on the public bus. Like he's riding a transit bus. As courteous as he can be, taking his time. Everybody go in front of him. Oh, there's a seat over there. Excuse me. Can I have that seat? That's how calm his demeanor is when he just puts you on blast, for highlight number 1 on ESPN or something like that. He had a couple of those shots tonight. He's 35. He's 35. I've never seen anything. I'm smiling, man. It's 10:30 at night, and I am smiling. I'm giddy. I feel like a child because what we're watching is amazing, and it's all different, And I am just as excited about Wembanyama, Victor. We've never seen anything like that before. I put in a hard day's work today. I was exhausted. By 4 o'clock, I was exhausted because I worked pretty hard today. But I felt good because I knew I was going to watch some great basketball. That had me smiling. And guess what? It was all worth it. To watch that game tonight, that was fantastic. It really was. So, what do y'all think? The cool thing about, hopefully, the foundation that we've been able to set for the In the Dungeon show is we're not cheerleaders. We talk basketball. We talk sports because we know sports. Where do the Warriors fit in the Western Conference? I think it would be a big-time mistake for them to even have aspirations of being a number 1 seed, or I think they need to be a top 4 seed. I think they got a good chance to do that. Now, nobody's going to begrudge them from going out and winning basketball games, but it looks to me like the Denver Nuggets are going to have a great year. They surprised me. I thought that they would miss Bruce Brown more than they have thus far. And he's playing good ball for Indiana as well. Jeff Green gave them minutes, but I'm not overly surprised that they've been able to find answers. Zeke Naji and other players like that to supplement what Jeff Green gave them. They look rock solid. Aaron Gordon, a guy who I've been watching play since he was 12 years old. He's grown and evolved into just a man, just an all-star caliber player. And the cool thing about Aaron, and I kind of know his basketball history a little bit because I followed the Soldiers for a long period of time. A lot of my friends are associated with the Soldiers, and to think that he has been loyal to that community for such a long period of time is something that I also admire for him. because he's had to listen to a lot of people to get to where he is. And one of the challenging things for young players that want to get it right away is they stop listening to the people who help them get there. But that has not been his narrative. He has listened and he has evolved. And as good as Nurkic is, and Murray, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon is an integral piece to their success, no doubt about that. Brian says, don't tell Steph he's 35. He'll hit one in your eye. Yeah, man. Testament to putting the work in. Testament to putting the work in. Trusting his trainers. And just having a high standard. Just having a really, really high standard for what he does. And here's the other thing. Steph Curry has had phenomenal coaching. His college coach, Bob McKillop, I know Coach McKillop. Coach McKillop basically got his bones on Long Island in New York, where I'm from. He was a legend out there, and yeah, I've known Coach McKillop for a long period of time. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame if he's not in the Hall of Fame already. And so, knowing that he coached Stephen Curry for 3 years, I know that basketball was important, but the development of that young man in relation with his parents is really, really important. And it's why he's such a great teammate. You know, it's why think about what Stephen Curry did when Kevin Durant came to the Warriors. He openly deferred. Now, you can say that Kevin is a better player. Okay, fine. But Stephen Curry made it as easy as it possibly could be because he was really about winning championships. You know? And will the Warriors win a championship this year? I don't know. Can they win? Yeah, they can win. They have as good a chance as anybody as far as I'm concerned. And what's beautiful to watch is to have competitive rivals. Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, going at Chris Paul's neck every year. Open the doors and allow him to come into this community and be himself. Because he don't know how to be anybody else but himself. And so far, so good. Brian Iglesias says, all those people who said they hated the Chris Paul trade, I wonder what they think of the, okay. They got 4 turnovers. I don't even have my glasses on. I'm sorry about that, Brian. I got your message, though. Yeah. Guy's been a complete home run. 4 turnovers and 31 assists. But didn't you see this coming, though? Yo, he's one of the smartest players in the history of basketball. Got a lot of money. Has made a lot of... No, I saw it. 21 assists and 4 turnovers, right? Yeah, no, we got it. 21 assists and 4 turnovers. The Chris Paul's on the sideline, I think it's more like community service. You know, I think he honestly has bigger fish to fry. I honestly believe that. I think I read something that said that Chris Paul's grandfather owned a gas station in North Carolina. I think I read that a couple of years ago, something like that. So, his commitment to HBCUs, most of his family went to HBCUs. That's why he's so involved in raising money. I actually see Chris Paul being like the president of a university. You know, I could very easily see him being the president of an HBCU. That's what I think. Yeah, just a brilliant basketball mind. the type of competitor that everybody would love to play with, maybe not against. And I'm happy for him because I'm sure that there was some trepidation on his part with regards to how things would turn out with the Warriors. And the Warriors, I mean, we're fortunate in Northern California. The 49ers structurally are one of the best run organizations in all of sport. The Golden State Warriors are unquestionably one of the best run organizations, period. I think even beyond sports. I know too many people within that organization that are top flight individuals and do their jobs really, really well. So I'm sure this is a breath of fresh air for Chris Paul, even to kind of see how the Warriors work and go, whoa, I get it. My man Gladition says, listening to you live again after 20 years brings so much nostalgia. I used to listen to you as a 16-year-old on KHTK 1140, the power station up there in Sacramento. The game, I'm 40. What do you think the Warriors will look like with what? Oh, CP3 and Draymond. Okay. And CP3 and Draymond on the same floor. I think they're going to figure it out. That's what I think. I don't think that it's going to be a seamless transition. But I think with Chris Paul playing well, it's really empowered Steve Kerr. So Steve Kerr is going to be able to coach Draymond Green a little differently now because I think that he has gained some equity and gained some power, and like it or not, you need that. You really need to have a clear vision of how things are aligned. I'm a big Draymond Green supporter, and I think that he will be fine. I think Draymond will find a way to contribute in a major way because he's so smart. But the ball will not always be in his hands. The ball is very comfortable in Chris Paul's hands the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. It makes the game so much easier for Stephen Curry. It makes it easier for Clay. And the big question mark is Andrew Wiggins. Think about this. We keep harping back to Wiggins' playoff run, right? If we got 80% of that guy, the Warriors will win the championship. If Wiggins played 80% of his best basketball, the Warriors are winning because they're smarter than everybody else. Doc Rivers gave a stat out tonight. He was almost right. He said the Warriors led the league in assists and in turnovers. No, they led the league in assists. They averaged 116 points a game last year. The Houston Rockets led the league in turnovers at 30 per game. The Warriors, well, I don't know about 30. No, I'm not saying that. They were last in turnovers. The Warriors were 29th. So the Warriors were the best passing team in basketball and literally the worst team in terms of giving the ball up. What do you think they rank right now after 2 games? Probably 10th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Would you have that many more possessions with the shooters and the playmakers that the Warriors have? They're going to be more efficient. When I looked at the team this year, the Warriors averaged 116 points a game last year. I said that they would average 122 this year. Now, kind of got me off kilter a little bit. The first game, they scored 104. What do they have tonight? 122. So maybe they'll average 119. but they're going to average more points than they did last year. They average, think about this, they averaged 116 points a game last year. And how many times were they just horrific? It took them 14 games last year to win their first road game. Team's good. Team's very good. And listen, this is where we are now as basketball fans. We thought that the play-in game was kind of gimmicky. Even the people who were ready to kind of buy in right away, it had kind of a vaudeville-esque type of feel to it. Not anymore. Not anymore. You know why? Because the bottom has been raised. This is a single elimination tournament. There are no bad teams in the NBA. There are teams that don't know how to win. But there are no bad teams in the NBA. If you tell me that the Portland Trailblazers are a bad team, right? I say you put an experienced coach in there and they'll start winning some games. They have enough talent to win. They don't know how to win. And I think Chauncey Billups, brilliant basketball mind, but is he a brilliant teacher? Is he a brilliant coach? We don't know. Coaching is something that you get better at over time. Generally speaking, you're not great at coaching right away because it's really, really hard. There's so many different things that you have to do as a coach to have success. And I question whether or not they're going to give Chauncey the time that he needs to get those guys over the hump. I hope that they will, because I think that they have a real nice foundation of young players, but they don't know how to win. And losing one of their veteran Simons for the next 4 to 6 weeks after hurting his thumb is not going to help them. Now, who's bad? Who else is bad? Oh, the Washington Wizards. There's no hope for them. I don't care if you have Phil Jack out there. Phil Jackson in his prime. They're not going to win. they're not very good. But that's about it. I mean, all the teams are very talented. You even look at a team like Toronto, the Raptors. Do they have a superstar? I don't know if they do or not. I like Scotty Barnes. Siakam's good. Are those superstar players? I don't know. They might be all-stars. But I wouldn't consider them to be a good team. But they're not bad. They'll kick your butt. So the play-in game is good because anybody can win. Well, no. Washington can't win and Portland can't win. Everybody else has a chance. I don't think Chicago can win either. I don't. Ronnie Basis says, there are teams that don't know how to win, but there are teams that don't want to win either. I would have loved to hear one of those teams, Brian. Hey, Brian, give me some of those teams that don't want to win. Because I think that everybody wants to win. Everybody doesn't want to do the work. All right? SG, what's up, brother? Thank you for stepping in, man. And you asked, how are you doing? I'm doing fantastic, man. You kidding me? I got people to talk to on Friday night at 10:50 about sports. Listening to me? What? Come on, man. I'm doing extremely well. Because I love basketball. I love what I'm doing. You know? De'Aaron Fox signed a brand Under Armour. Well, he did, but he really signed under Curry. not Under Armour. If it was just Under Armour, De'Aaron Fox would not be wearing that shoe. I don't think so. To be quite honest with you, I wasn't a De'Aaron Fox fan. I wasn't a De'Aaron Fox hater. I'm a fan now. I'm a fan of his. And I'm a fan because, number one, everything that we've seen from this guy has said that he has high character, right? So the fact that he has high character, that makes me feel good because a lot of players don't want the responsibility of driving the league and honoring the covenants that the NBA represents. It's bigger than you. It's not about you. And he has that mentality. He has really ingratiated himself in that Sacramento community, who I absolutely love. If you know my history, you know why. Sacramento made me. They made me. They did. If it wasn't for Sacramento, I would not be doing what I'm doing right now. No way. I remember when I got hired at KHTK, and I don't mind saying it. If I was on KHK, I'd be number one. I know I'd be number one. It's all good. I think if I was anywhere I'd be successful. I know that. Because that's not really what it's about. It's not. It's about doing the work. Nobody's going to outwork me. But I love Sacramento. And the fact that De'Aaron has stepped up and said that I want to represent this organization along with Domantas Sabonis, I'm just so happy for those fans, man. And Stephen Curry is so meticulous about his image and how he moves in the world. He's not going to mess with you unless you are a top shelf guy. That's just the bottom line. Steph Curry and his lovely wife, they could be in the Hall of Fame just off of their philanthropic work. Unbelievable what they do in the community. I love it. I love it. Ronnie Glacier says Houston, Atlanta, Portland, Utah, Charlotte, and Detroit are teams in my mind that don't want to win because they rather tank and get a good draft position than losing the play-in. Okay. All right. I think you could probably say that in the past, Brian. But let me say this. Emi Udoka? No, that's a real dude. He ain't trying to lose to nobody. All right? You show up in Houston, you better beat them because they're going to play hard every night. So I disagree with Houston. Quinn Snyder? Are you killing me? Are you kidding me? Quinn Snyder has a law degree and an MBA. And he's coaching. No, that dude is a flat-out winner. And give him some time, he's going to get rid of some of those guys. All right? They're going to continue to shape up that roster because that guy could be, CEO of some AI corporation or something like that. He's done a lot of stuff. So Quinn Snyder's a real dude. Portland, Quincy, I don't know. Chauncey Billups, I don't know. I think what Chauncey is trying to do in Portland is very difficult. He doesn't have a lot of coaching experience. He doesn't. And I don't know if his approach is going to work. I don't know. So I can see some of the players losing confidence. So you might have something there. Utah, I disagree with you in Utah. Danny Ainge is probably pissed off because the coach was too damn good last year. They won way more games than Danny Ainge ever wanted them to win. So what is Danny going to do? Is he going to tell the coach not to win? Charlotte, Steve Yeah, I don't know what's up with Charlotte. I think there might be a disconnect there. You might have something there, but I mean, they keep getting top draft picks and drafting the wrong players. You know, I don't know what's up with Charlotte. And Monty Williams losing? No way. He's not going to sleep well if the Detroit Pistons keep losing. He expects to win. They gave him $80 million, right? They gave him $80 million. No, he's trying to win. He's definitely trying to win. SG says the San Jose Sharks are, yeah, it's getting ugly down in Sharkland. They're the only team in the NHL who doesn't have a victory yet. And I'm a casual hockey fan. You know, I root for the Sharks, but this is crazy. And Brian says, of course all these coaches want to win. I was talking about the higher up with all of those organizations. Yeah. I mean, I get that. And I would say to you, Brian, that those conversations are had before you hire a Monty Williams. You know what I'm saying? Monty Williams doesn't go from winning at every team he's ever been on. He took the New Orleans Pelicans to the playoffs. He took the Phoenix Suns with that owner, Sarver, to the NBA Finals. This was a straight winner. And he was assistant for Pop all those years? No, I think Detroit's on board with the Monty Williams plan. I think they are. So, I don't know a lot of head coaches, but I do know some NBA head coaches. And the pressure to win in spite of some of the tomfoolery that takes place in the organizations, it doesn't always trickle down to the coaches. The coaches want to win because they rationalize firing coaches, you know, because they belch too loud. All right, you need to win some games if you are a head coach. General managers, depend upon the relationships, the rope is a lot longer, but it ain't that damn long for coaches. All right, man. Is this a bad loss for Sacramento, or is it one that you look at and you say, you know what, we have to really assess where we are? I mean, everybody was patting Monty McNair on the back because he revamped the roster of the Kings last year, brought in Mike Brown, certainly the right hire, and the team went out and won 48 games last year. This summer, not so much. The MVP of the EuroLeague, Sasha, made a couple of shots tonight. One of them I thought was pretty cool from the corner. He had another one from straight, you know, from beyond the top of the key that trickled off the rim and went in. I thought it was a little off balance. But he has confidence. He has some confidence, but doesn't look like a player right now that's going to move the needle. They might have to do something to their roster because you got two bona fide all-stars and Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, and Keegan Murray's one of the best second-year players in the NBA. So they're a playoff team. They are. But fans are greedy, right? I mean, they lost in 7 games to the Warriors last year, and the consensus is they would expect them to try to do better. I don't know if they can do better. Looking at that roster, I don't. Deontay, he looked okay, not great. I think Mike Brown made some bad moves with Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter's never been a good defensive player, never. And I think to coach him in a way that you're going to penalize him because he's playing poor defense, I I think emotionally it's just not going to work for him. I think he's lost his confidence. He's a much better player than he's played in the first couple of games, particularly tonight. He looked lost out there. He really did. Monk is what he is. Monk's going to have games this year when he scores over 30, 35, maybe 40, but he's a streaky player. He's not going to give it to you every game. He's just not. It's not who he is. Davion Mitchell, I got serious concerns about Davion Mitchell. I do. He's been tinkering with his shot, and his shot just looks bad. It doesn't look good. It doesn't. So, Brian speaking to my reality. The Kings need to get Fox some help. The bonus to me is empty calories. Puts up a stat line but doesn't give you what you need to win a gritty game. There are some LBs there that you can probably lose. I'm not disagreeing with you there. But here's the thing about the bonus I think you have to give him credit for, Brian. He's working on maximum. This dude is getting the most out of his ability. And if you get the most out of your ability as a player, your coach is going to love you forever. So he's a much better player he now with the Kings than he was with Indiana or even with OKC. He's a better player now. I have no problem with Sabonis. I don't. I mean, like you said, his stat line's going to be gaudy. It doesn't always speak to reality, but I'll take him. Imagine if Sabonis was on the Warriors playing center. He wouldn't score as many points, but I think he'd be a pretty darn good player. So their problem, Brian, is in the backcourt. In the backcourt. I think that they're going to live with Sasha. They've been paying Sasha a whole lot of money, so they want to try to develop him. So the combination of Sasha and Harrison Barnes at the small forward position, that's what you have. Keegan Murray, he's going to be there. Their biggest challenge is the backcourt. I mean, think about it. They scored 114 points tonight, and they scored even more against Utah, and they're choppy in the backcourt beyond De'Aaron Fox. That's where their real problems are. I just don't know who's out there. Who's out there? You know? Is it sacrilegious to say that James Harden would be a better player for the Kings than what they have playing against De'Aaron Fox? I'm playing with De'Aaron Fox. Is that loony talk? He's better than Kevin Huerter, I'll tell you that. And I also said, and I was getting beat up a little bit on Twitter. My man Dante Ross was beating me up pretty good when I said, I think that James Harden should actually go on San Antonio. I think, everybody's like, Papa's not going to destroy this young kid. He's not going to chemistry. Can you imagine James Harden on San Antonio playing basketball? I think he'd be balling out. Now, there's all this other stuff that needs to happen, but from a basketball perspective, I think it works perfectly. I think James Harden will help Sacramento. It's going to be interesting because he's going to wind up somewhere. It's not going to be in the Eastern Conference. We know that. But where? Where is it? Where does James Harden wind up? I don't see him playing well for Philly. I'm not saying he won't play for Philly, but I don't see him playing well for Philly. I also think that Maxey needs to have the ball in his hands to reach his full potential. And if Harden is there, he's not going to have the ball in his hands. That's not going to happen. So Daryl Morey just needs to stop. He really does. Because it's a major distraction right now. There isn't any money beyond this year attached to Harden. So what's the problem? Nick Nurse is really not going to coach James Harden. We know that. He's not. James Harden's not going to listen to him. I don't believe he will. He'll listen to him when he wants to listen to him. We're getting started on that. All right. This has been fun, everybody. I appreciate all the support, everybody checking us out. If you are a person who routinely checks out the program, again, man, I can't express how appreciative I am that you help me do something that I love to do. And if you listen to the program for the first time, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and you'll give us another listen the next time we're on. We're going to do another show on Sunday night at 9 o'clock Pacific Coast time. So be on the lookout for that. I'll definitely put the link out there. You can hit me up at Big Frank Red on Twitter. Twitter X, what? I don't do social media. I have no idea. My man Jimmy says, tough watching rebuilds like in Portland. Yeah, man. Yeah. They need a teacher. You know, is Chauncey Billups a coach solely, or is he a teacher coach? Because they need a teacher coach. That's what they need. They need somebody who is going to transform the mentalities of some of their younger players. Because you're going to win with young players. And I don't know. Keep your eye on Portland. Keep your eye on Portland. All right, we're going to be on air again Sunday night at 9 p.m. Hit me up at Big Frank Red on X. I love to go back and forth and have intelligent conversations with people about sports and other topics when the opportunity presents itself. If you are not a subscriber of this particular program, hit the subscribe button, the like, and we can make that happen. We're well over 100 subscribers now on In the Dungeon Show. We want to keep moving forward. So if you like the show and you want to subscribe, then you know what to do. Hit that button. Hit the like button also. I was surprised that does help in terms of getting the content out to other people. So if you like the show, you check it out routinely, hit the like button. Vicky, you're awesome. Likewise to you. Have a great night. All right. I'm going to do my thing and get out of here and talk to you again on Sunday night. Success and getting paid is a manifestation of the whole process. If you as an individual don't do things to help other people make their lives better, as far as I'm concerned, you haven't done nothing. All right? I'm Frank Red. Until the next time, I say peace.